Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another edition, the first edition of the new year of Pretenders or Contenders. Is that right, or is it second?
This is the second. Yeah, we did one last week, so this is the second.
That's right. So, second episode, Pretenders or Contenders, starring my man, Coach Powell. I am the Midnight Rider. As you can see, Coach Powell is on the road right now, but we're going to get going because this is what we do on Mondays. Before we even get started, let me just take you to one thing. If you missed the show right now on the live version, what you can do is go check the audio vote tomorrow morning. It'll be on iHeartRadio, Odyssey, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, iHeartRadio, all these platforms. You can get this show. So if you didn't get your fix on PG County / high school sports around the area, come on, check us out. Also, don't forget the YouTube page. We have two options for you now. We have YouTube 24/7, where there's a constant reel of shows being played. We don't know what being played at what time, but if you jump in, you're going to see a show from the past week. And then the other option is just going straight to YouTube. Click like and subscribe to the Sideline Junkies in and check us out. And that way you can pick the show you want. It could be Pretenders or Contenders. It could be whatever else is on the network. And that's how you get your opportunity to check out the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network and also check us out, the Pretenders or Contenders. Coach, always start the show the same way. How you feel, baby?
Hey, man, I'm feeling good. I appreciate you, man, taking lead tonight as I'm on my way home from a Spartans victory tonight. We had a game. I don't know why Howard County decided to play the JV game at 4 and varsity at 5:30, but nonetheless, game is over and I'm on my way home, so feeling good about tonight.
How did you guys do in the game, man?
And we did what we do. We made it a lot more tougher than what it was supposed to be. We beat River Hill tonight 54-51. It was a close game where we were in control the entire game, but we just couldn't separate ourselves. We had two stints where we were up by 13 points and allowed them to come back and, make the game closer than what it should be. But nonetheless, a victory is a victory, and we'll take the W.
Well, I don't know if you caught the show earlier, but Showtime Sarah said something very profound about, she said, to win games, you have to win games. So that's going to be part of our lexicon from here on out. In order for you to win games, you have to win games. Brought to you by Showtime Sarah on Drive Time.
There you go. Showtime Sarah always dropping some gems, man.
She dropped something else. It was another analogy she dropped earlier. It was the second half of the show. I forget what it was, man. I'm trying to go back and catch it because I might use it tomorrow. Let me give her credit, of course.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said.
I said, of course, I'll give her credit, but yeah, I might use it anyway. Uh-oh. Yeah. Coach Marcus. He fired.
He always stirring up something, man. And, he's just lucky I haven't fired him in the last 2 weeks because he's actually he came up big for me. So setting up the wrestling coach for the night. So I told him I couldn't fire him this week.
Okay. But doesn't he have a project or something coming up soon? Isn't there a big wrestling event that they got coming up?
Well, they're finishing up their season right now, but it looks like there's a good chance that our wrestling team is going to be #1 seed in the region, and have to host the first round, and then Marcus, you're gonna have to chime in. I don't know which region we in for wrestling, but whatever our regional is, we'll be hosting it at the 300. On February 27th and 28th.
Okay. Yeah, okay, that's it. I think it was something else I thought he was hosting there as well. Hold on, let's see. We got here we go. ASNJ says the winter bids is this weekend. That's what I was talking about. Thanks, Jay.
Okay. Gotcha. Yeah, that's Coach Jaden right there. And Coach Marcus just chimed in and said we're in the 4A South. Okay, so yeah, we'll be hosting the 4A South Wrestling Regional at Law High School, the 300 on the 27th of February and the 28th. So, Marcus has hosted a regional before, and he does a great job of running things. He actually does a great job of organizing things. He just can't coach offense in football. So.
I would bring up the college football game, but I don't want to, because I think you 0-2 on that, Coach.
Yeah, he eyed in that too. he get lucky a lot, but I'll leave it down. I'm struggling this season, so I ain't even gonna talk no trash right now.
While I got you, I know we don't normally talk about this, but real quick, just your overall thoughts on the playoffs this weekend. We had some interesting games. I know we're gonna get into it tomorrow on the Tuesday night flight, but any thoughts just on the surface of the NFL?
Man, I have to say that I was surprised with the Green Bay and Chicago game, only because it seemed like the first half Green Bay couldn't do no wrong, and in the second half everything just changed. And Chicago, I mean, that's how you win games. Chicago made more plays down the stretch and when they needed to. But some of the stuff that happened in that second half of the game, I'm looking at Green Bay like, what are we doing? Like, the play calling was a little suspect. I think I even mentioned it in our chat that LaFleur just he got out-coached second half. I don't know why he was passing the ball so much with the lead. I can't remember, what was it, the 4-minute mark or less?
Yes. Yep.
He ran the ball. I mean, he passed the ball on second and third down. Ain't take no time off the clock. So that was a surprise. Not surprised about the Eagles game. As my guy, Coach Moot, he's a big Eagles fan. And he said it all year long that the Eagles offense was not the same as last year. Play calling was not the same. And, they couldn't score points. And, it didn't surprise me that they struggled. I thought San Fran, just did what they did enough to win the game. So no surprise there. That Buffalo and Jacksonville game was a game.
Mm-hmm.
Jacksonville is a team that, for a few years, I think everybody thought that Jacksonville should have been better than what they were they were putting on the field, because they had some young talent there. They had some pieces. But the team that they had this year, they had a good football team. And I don't think they're going away next year. I don't think this is a one-time stop for them. Trevor Lawrence had a great season, a solid season. I don't think he did anything exceptional, but he did what he was supposed to as the quarterback. And they got a good defense out there. So that Jacksonville, we'll see them again next year in the playoffs.
Yeah, and they uncovered the gem in that.
Buffalo, they up there.
I'm sorry, say that again, Coach. No, you say yours.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm probably breaking up right now because every time I get in there NSA, everything just goes out of whack.
You good?
The government listening in on us right now. Okay. I was saying Buffalo, they sitting up there in New York. They just happy right now that Kansas City's not in the playoffs. So.
Facts. That's true. I think they just want to get something out, and they just put everything on his shoulder. But I was saying, when I tried to cut you off a little bit, was that Jacksonville got a gem in that kid Parker Washington. They weren't expecting him to be much. He's been crucial. Same thing with the kid Poker at Carolina. Another kid that you wasn't expecting a lot from this kid. Now down the stretch, they're giving you quality go-to guy minutes or go-to guy stats. So that's a good thing.
That's a real good thing there. Looking at the game tonight, The Texans and Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, they backed their way into the playoffs with the lack of special teams on both teams at the end of the game. But the Texans are coming in. I think the Texans have won 10 straight, 9 or 10 straight right now.
Something like that. Yes.
And I don't see them slowing down tonight. So I think the Texans are going to win this game tonight, and I don't even think it's going to be close, man. I'm thinking like 28-13.
Okay. All right. Real quick, a couple more comments to knock out. Let's see. Let's make sure I can remember where we left off. All right. So here we go. Laugh out loud. I appreciate that. Learn from the best. CJ Moody said definitely surprised. Let's see. I got Anthony. The surprised it doesn't have a U comment yet, but Anthony jumps in and says the Bears did win the game. The Packers lost that game. Specifically their damn defense, and people are blaming Jordan Lewis for that love. Why? It doesn't make sense. I mean, he threw for almost 300 and 4 touchdowns and no turnovers. So
yeah, that game definitely wasn't on Jordan Love. I don't know why people are saying that. And welcome back, Anthony. I ain't heard from Anthony on our show in a while. So welcome back from down there in sunny Florida.
And then he says, Jay says all of us are happy the Eagles lost. And then
Jade's a Giants fan.
And then Anthony says, with how well Parker Washington's playing, I think this signals that the Jaguars may trade Brian Thomas Jr. I mean, I don't know if you want to trade that kid.
Yeah.
Why not have 3 good receivers? I mean, the kid had a bad year. He had a case of the drops. Just put him on the jugs machine. Let him get some get right. And you fine, because now you trading him at his lowest trade value. So that
right. You definitely don't get rid of him now.
Yeah. Because now you're thinking about a 4th or maybe a conditional 5th.
Yep. Yeah, leave that one alone for right now.
Over the weekend, did you have anything over the weekend, Coach?
No, man. I didn't have anything over the weekend. Basketball-wise, we played last Thursday. We played at High Point High School. We beat them 72-64. So we're on a little 2-game winning streak right now. Earlier last week, I think it was last Tuesday, we went to Flowers. Flowers is undefeated right now. We lost to them 64-59. We actually should have won the game, but we're still trying to find out our identity, what type of team we are. Our leading scorer right now is a freshman, and he's pretty darn good. He's actually the brother of our number 1 receiver, Kareem Oyekin, on the team. So Hakeem Oyekin, he's a freshman, and he's killing it. He had 28 points against Flowers, and then he followed that up with 24 points against High Point the other night. So yeah, outside of basketball right now, I'm pretty calm and a little slow for me right now.
So when does it pick back up for you?
Say that again.
When does it pick back up for you?
It's going to pick back up. Once basketball season ends, I really ramp up with spring workouts for football. Right now, my other coaches are running things while I'm doing basketball. So we'll pick that up 7-on-7. And then, once around June and July, that's when I really get back in the fire of having something every day, pretty much except for Sunday.
Okay, cool.
Yep. So it's I got to give my wife a shout out right now. Her and her cheer team, the first ladies of the 300. They're getting ready for competition season. They got their first competition this Friday night. It's the PG County Invitational down at Wise High School at 6:00. So this is cheers time of the year right now. They actually have 4 straight weeks of competition. So Just want to give a shout out to my wife, Coach Imani, and Coach Sandra, Coach D'Angelo, and Coach Sam. And shout out the ladies. And we got one gentleman on the squad. Shout them out and wish them good luck these next couple of weeks.
That's what's up. What's up? Looks like we got Coach Kamara joining us in the background, backstage. Do we go ahead and pull him up on the screen?
Yeah. Go ahead and pull Coach up. Like I said, I know he at practice right now. He probably snuck out of practice for a little bit.
Coach Kamara, how you doing, man?
What's going on,
Good,
Coach?
man. Good. How's it going? I appreciate to be here.
Nah, we're glad to have you, man.
Trying to get Coach on here for the last couple of weeks. You know, he's a busy man.
Hey, man.
I appreciate you.
What they call that down there in Bladensburg? I forget what it's called.
The stable.
Stable. There we go. Yeah.
The stable.
How's the stable rocking, man? How they treating you?
Man, it's excellent, man. It's an excellent experience. This is my first year as the head coach. I previously was an assistant here from 2013 to 2018. Also alumni, so just getting a lot of support from the staff, the community. The kids are responding, the community is responding, the school is responding. So it's just been an excellent experience thus far.
All right, so let's do this real quick. Let's talk about your last ball game and then talk about your next ball game. What you got coming up and what you just finished up with.
We got Roosevelt tomorrow. It should be a very, very high intense game. I'm super excited to go into Roosevelt. Every time I go to Roosevelt, it's definitely a dogfight. It's hard to win in that gym, so I'm just trying to get my guys prepared for tomorrow. Our last game, we lost the overtime game at Wise. Um, it was an excellent game. I feel as though we should have won, but it was just an experience that my kids just had to go through, just learning how to win. Um, and it was a mindset shift because, to be honest, just kids from Bladensburg and a lot of kids in PG County, they feel as though Wise is a superior school. So for them to battle them at that level was definitely a game changer for the student athletes to actually see that come to fruition. Because to be honest, a lot of them didn't believe that they could play to that level until it actually happened.
Okay.
Well,
So
like
it
I
sounds
said,
like,
Coach.
go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry.
Oh, my fault. Go ahead. You got another one? Go ahead.
No, you shoot.
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say, man, you know, it's I got to see Coach Kaman in his Mustangs, you know, up front and personal when we played them early in the season, man. And you know, it definitely, I don't know what you got cooking up over there, Coach, but you definitely got them boys playing hard and balling this year, man. And you know, what has been the biggest improvement that you've seen since you stepped in the doors over there at Bladensburg to now?
Um, Honestly, just the belief in the kids, just the buy-in, and I just believe that myself being a former assistant coach here and a former player here, it was an easy transition. A lot of coaches, when they transition into being a head coach, there is something new for them. This isn't nothing new for me. I pretty much, while I've been gone the last 7 years at Parkdale, it's some sets and some offensive things, defensive sets that Bladensburg still runs since I've been in high school. So the transition has been easy for me because there's certain things that I know about Bladensburg that just any coach wouldn't know. So just being able to just step in, and the kids were surprised that I basically knew everything they ran last year and offensively and defensively. So the learning curve for myself and for the players, it was no adjustment really. Just me putting my different tweaks into the things that was already being established in the Bladensburg, and just things that I learned along the way as being a head coach, and just mixing those two things together. Um, it's been, an easier transition than people would have thought it would have been. Like, so a lot of people just didn't know that.
So when you there as an assistant, who was the head coach over there?
Antonio Williams, Coach Antonio Williams, he's been at Bladensburg since 2003, and he's probably been the head coach since about 2012. And I was with him from 2013 to 2018.
So do you think he kind of shaped your way? Because it sounded like all you did was tweak things. You didn't really come in with a new philosophy. Do you think
Yeah,
he
I
shaped?
didn't. Yeah. You can say
Okay.
that. You can.
What other coaches in the area kind of served as mentors for you, man?
Like you just said, Antonio Williams, he coached me. Um, he coached me when I was in high school, JV, and he was assistant when I was on varsity. One of my close friends, Desmond Small, he was on the staff that kind of convinced me to start coaching. So had Coach Small, Coach Antonio Williams, and then a lot of the coaches that I coached with over the summer, coaching with DC Premier over the last 5 to 6 years, and now with the Washington Warriors. So just in that like AAU environment, there's a lot of head coaches, a lot of assistant coaches, and we
Right.
always picking our brains, stealing from each other. Got Coach Chris over there, at Pilates, and Coach Terrell over there, at Pilates. We got so I just been alongside a lot of head coaches, Coach Jamal, that's at Riken, Coach Durkee, that's at Coolidge. So we're just always in the gym, and we're always just like piggybacking off of each other, just learning, just getting into the gym. And so that like kind of like helps me, when it comes down to me being a head coach, is me just doing this all year round, and just around a lot of great basketball minds. Throughout the summer, and then we just bring it back to high school, and it's just good to see when everyone is thriving amongst their own programs, because we know how much that we learned from each other like over the summer and things of that nature.
That's the one thing. I've been doing this with Coach for a minute now, and the one thing I always like to give the PG County coaches props on is the brotherhood. Like you guys, yeah, there's competition when we play each other, but there's like
Mhm.
a developmental thing where you guys look out for each other. You will help each other out. It's always an open line of communication, and that's something that I like to applaud, man. Um, but I just notice it every time I talk to you guys, man. I appreciate that, man.
Yeah, for sure. And that's
Uh,
one of the main. Yeah, go ahead.
no, no, no. I was going to ask you real quick. You said this is your first season, so tell me about that first win.
First win of the season. It was against Friendly. It was the first game of the season. It was a lot of jitters. Just me being the actual head coach at my alma mater. So definitely it was like an emotional game. But I just try to, just get past that and just coach the game of basketball, and put the emotions to the side and just do what I love to do, and that's coach basketball. So I put the first win and all those things to the side, and worried more so about what did Friendly do well, what does Friendly do well. Focused on the game plan and executing the things that we need to execute, and then I got to worry about the win after it actually happened. So I really didn't put pressure on myself about the win. It was more so about executing the game plan and the scout.
Okay.
Got you, man. So, it's one thing that as a coach, I'm a lot older than you are, but
Mhm.
it's one thing as a coach, man, when you get the opportunity to go back and coach your alma mater, the place where a foundation of was laid in you. And I graduated from law in '97, so it was always, when I started coaching youth ball back in 1999, it was always a goal of me to get back to law and coach, man. And so, just speak on that. You mentioned it a little bit, man. Just speak on how big it is for you to be able to come back to your school, that you graduated from, man, and lay into these kids, mentor these kids.
Yeah, that's like the biggest motivation, because like you said, it definitely helped shape me. So it was definitely like you said. I think you just said like the answer. Like it's been a goal of mine since one of my coaches told me I was going to be a head coach, like when I was like in the ninth grade. But even like before that, I've been coming to Bladensburg since I've been like in the third grade, and seeing all the basketball players come through this program, and just being just myself being that one of the kids, or that kid that is able to lead the next generation of young men, and being an alumni from here, it just like means the world to me, to be able to pour into these kids, just knowing that I played here, my older brother played here, my younger brother played here. I was here when this building opened. Just a lot of history and a lot of things go behind it, and that just gives me like that extra motivation just to pour into these kids and try my best to be successful with this situation, because it means that much to me. Walking in these same hallways, going to the same stores, going to the same schools as all these kids. It just means a lot, and that just makes me go a little bit harder in practices and games and things of that nature.
You said something that strikes a chord with me. You said um somebody said you would be a coach in ninth grade. So my question to you is, what do you think he saw, and what do you think the outside influences? Was there like an NBA player that you patterned yourself after that made him think that?
It was just it was my attention to detail, not on the game, but it was just like just the small things that the normal player wasn't catching. It was like the history of the school, just the standings and and the statistics, and just being able to speak at at a high level about a lot of different topics, not just on the basketball court, but off the basketball course. I think the coach had seen that in me, and just being able to elaborate in different conversations as a ninth grader about high school sports, about Bladensburg sports, and they kind of seen how I evaluated the game, how I probably would speak about things such as help side defense when a lot of people were probably thinking about scoring and things of that nature, or me trying to find different ways to get other people involved. Um, so it was just things like that, and just me just being a student in the game and a historian of high school sports in PG County and sports in general. So I think the coach has seen that in me, because that's just something that I've always, you know, honed into.
Yeah,
All
that was somewhat similar with me in football as well. You know, my high school coaches used to tell me all the time, "Man, you're gonna coach." I was a wide receiver,
Hmm.
but I could play backup quarterback because I was the only person outside of the quarterback and the coach that knew every single play, what everybody was doing, and
Absolutely.
it was just something that I was destined to do. So I definitely feel you on that one, man. And I wanted to bring up, you also what's your role with the Prince George's County Coaches Association for basketball?
So yeah, my role right now, I'm the vice president of the Prince George's County Basketball Association. So I've been involved with that over the last 4 years, but since I became a head coach in 2018, 2019, I've just always wanted to, I've always wanted to gain visibility and just push PG County basketball to another level. So as of recent, a lot of the coaches that were involved that like kind of motivated me, Coach Chuck Henry, he's now at Carroll. Coach Antonio Williams, he's now at Carroll as well. Um, and so a lot of coaches stepped away. Coach O'Connell, that was at Roosevelt. So they kind of like just voted me in. So I essentially like run the Instagram page. I run all. I'm not gonna say I run. I'm like a huge part of the selection process of the like um all-star team selections, first team nominations, second team, third team, things of those natures. So I just been trying to build over the last couple of years, just trying to make sure PG County has the DMV is definitely a hotbed for basketball, and we just want to make sure that we're giving our kids, our student athletes, the best experience possible. So, like things like the media day, and we hear so much about how the football has their association, and I've been hearing that for like the last couple years, and I just been trying to make sure that basketball is doing something similar, and we're implementing things just to make the kids feel good about themselves, because a lot of these kids they want to see themselves on media day. They want to see who got player of the game. They want to see the standings, and
Mm-hmm.
ultimately that's motivating the kids. So things like the player of the week that we're putting, some kids are actually playing harder because they want to win these accolades and awards, not because they just want to play hard. Just in general, some of them want to play hard because they want to be rewarded. So
Mm-hmm.
so my role has just been making sure that um, PG County is seen, because and controlling the narrative of PG County basketball. Because if we don't control the narrative as coaches, the narrative is going to be controlled for us, and not that they're doing anything wrong, but a lot of the media outlets may just follow the WCAC. They may just follow the hottest kid in town or the hottest team in town, and which they, and rightfully so. But if we're not, pushing our kids that are doing well, nobody's going to do it for us, because we have so much talent in this area, in which if I'm a media outlet, I might go to see Ant Brown right now. I mean, why not? Or go see PVI. So us coaching in PG County, we have to find a way to push our kids, even, on any level. So that's just been my role, just trying to push in any aspects, social media, um, pushing out the different outlets, and just also collaborating the coaches. Like, now all the coaches, like, we're all on the same page, we have the same vision, we're looking out for our kids, but we're looking out for all kids. There's no bias in pushing PG County. So I don't mind saying a kid from Wise was player of the week and me pushing it out, because at the end of the day, if he's getting visibility, then when they play against me, visibility can be brought to my kids. So it's a collective effort, and a lot of the coaches in PG County have been giving me the autonomy to just be creative and do things like that. So they just been like, Coach John, just go ahead, it's yours, figure it out, and they've been letting me do that over the last 2 years.
Hey, I got a couple quick comments for you, Coach. First, for you, Coach Powell, I got Josh at Highly Opinionated says the best coach at Midnight Rider. Then from Coach Marcus, he says he got them Mustangs balling. Gotta love that. Another Coach Jerome says it takes a special person to coach, and I totally agree with that.
Appreciate
And
it.
then
Yes. So,
it's a question from Coach Marcus: do you feel pressure coaching at your alma mater?
uh
I don't think you do.
I don't feel any pressure, because like I said, I've already been on the sidelines here before. I've gotten a lot of experience being a head coach, and I mean, honestly, the alumni, that guys that I play basketball with, they will let me know if I'm doing a horrible job. So if it's only pressure where, like, my peers and my friends, they're really like, hey coach, like, you're doing a horrible job. They'll use, probably other words, but it's all, I mean, they all believe in me. They understand how much this means to me. And they'll keep it straight with me if I'm not doing a good job, but they'll still support me. We have that type of community and friendship and family. So there's really no pressure. This is one of those situations where everybody basically said, if Coach O stepped down, they better give me the coaching job. So it's kind of like all the former athletes that played under this was pushing for me. All the former players was trying to ensure. So it's really no pressure. It's kind of just like it's like normal to me. Like, this is like family to me. It's like just going up to the park or something like that. And playing basketball is like, so. Yeah, it's really no pressure, but I know it's pressure because people want me to, do well, but it's really no pressure.
Okay. Well, you
Gotcha.
Coach.
It was Midnight Rider, we've been talking, since the show started or whatever, about the role of the Football Coaches Association, and how we, we're one unit, and the whole vision of the Coaches Association is to try to bring that spotlight back, and it's one of the reasons why I started this show, Coach, was to, and we talked through messages before, is to bring the positive note back to PG County. And I might go off and I might spend a lot of time on football during the fall, but I'm trying to transition to the basketball side now.
I appreciate
And
it.
like I said, I'm gonna lean on you to for some of the coaches' contacts so I can get them on. Of course, I had Coach Hines on the show before. I had Coach Chuck for football on before, but a lot of the coaches I know, but I don't know like that. So, we're going to continue for the next couple of weeks, especially leading into playoff time.
Mm-hmm.
If your time allows you to come on again so we can talk about some of the games that's been going on.
Yeah.
Once we get off with you, we're going to share the standings from this week. I take that information off your Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I run the football Instagram for
Yeah,
PG County too. So that's always a good avenue. So I appreciate you, man, for spending some time and coming on here and joining with us, man. Because if we don't bring this positive light, ain't nobody else gonna do it. So
absolutely. And like I said, we got it strictly from y'all. Like you guys been saying, like if you're not taking ideas and stealing ideas from others, then you're not trying to progress. So we seen what the football side was doing. So we said we had to just to bring that visibility to our kids. So and me just making sure all the coaches stay together and they're together. So any coach that you need to come on, I can come on anytime. I'm definitely for it. This is something I like to do. So I definitely appreciate you guys and having this platform for me to speak. But definitely for me, definitely want Bladensburg to do the best. But it's definitely bigger. Is definitely bigger than that for me. I want to see all schools and all student athletes in PG County and in the DMV. Just to get that same opportunity and shed light on them.
right. Um, I know you got to get back to practice, coach. So I don't want to hold you up too much longer. Um, if you want to shout out a couple of your players real quick, man, that's been doing some good work. Yeah, go ahead, take the time, man. Shout them out, especially that
Um,
shooter you got over there.
yeah, Demonte Rayner, he's a junior. He's been coming off to a good start. But it's been a collective effort. We got guys like Alusan Monserrat, he's averaging double digits. We got Tristan Johnson, he's averaging double digits. And we got a young core, Brightly Amango, he's a sophomore. And then I got two singers that I lean on. They don't always have to hit the stat book every night. Mike Mason, he definitely like holds it down for me in the paint. And then just shout out to my staff. They've been bought in. I got a lot of alumni on the staff with me. I got former players that I've coached on the staff with me. So
Got
it's just
to,
a,
got
it's a
to.
whole family affair over here, and everybody's bought in and locked in on the same page. So it's
All
been
right,
fun.
all right. Well, we appreciate that, coach, man, and good luck the rest of the way, except on February 3rd. Um, except on February 3rd when the 300 comes to the stable, we will.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but nah, coach, I appreciate you, man, for taking the time to join us, man. And like I said, we're gonna be
Anytime.
talking about how we can collaborate and just keep on pushing this narrative, man. Just bringing that light back to PG County.
Absolutely. I'm all for that. I'm all for that.
Yeah, make sure you keep pushing us those players of the week because we want to push that out as part of our narrative as we go forward.
Oh yeah, will do. That's not gonna stop.
Right.
That's
All
not
right,
gonna stop. Appreciate that.
all right, man. Well, we appreciate you, man. Go ahead and get back into the gym, and I'll be talking to you.
All right, talk to you soon.
All
All
right,
right, man.
appreciate it.
Okay.
All right, that was Coach John Kamara, head basketball coach at Bladensburg High School. Also, the vice president of the Prince George's County Basketball Coaches Association, man. And so he's doing some good things this year, man. Like he really got them kids over there balling, man. They surprised the hell out of me when they came into the gym when we played them earlier in the year, and I think they beat us by 8 points,
Mm.
8 or 9 points. And they were up by more than that. We made a push at the end. Um, so he definitely got him. The last couple of years he was the coach over at Parkdale High School. So he had the opportunity to go back home, man, and he's taking advantage of. He's doing a great job, man.
Yeah, they say no place like home, man.
You're right. You're right about that. You're right about that.
So
All
how you
right.
want
So,
to
yeah, let's go ahead. We can bring in Coach now. He jumped on early, so let's go ahead and bring him in. We got joining us now. We got Coach Avery Tooley, the head wrestling coach at Dr. Henry Wise High School down in Upper Marlboro. How's it going, Coach?
Very well. How's everybody doing tonight?
Hey,
doing good,
man.
coach?
Yeah, we're glad you take the time out of your busy schedule, man, to join us. Um, and shout out to Coach Marcus for making the connection. He good for something every once in a while.
Yes,
every once in a
indeed.
while.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and get started, Coach. Man, let's talk about your coaching career, man. How you got started in wrestling, man, and what you got going on in Wise.
Um, I actually started wrestling about 40 years ago, about 1986, when I was in junior high school. And that was in Illinois. And then my family moved to PA to Philadelphia, and I wrestled in high school there. Unfortunately, well, not unfortunately, but I went to Temple, who did not continue their wrestling program while I was there. And then over time, I moved here, and I saw an opportunity to work with the wrestling team. This is about 2009, when I first started at Wise, and then in 2013 I assumed the head wrestling coach position, and so I've been there since. And over the time, we've learned a lot, and how to get better, not necessarily as a wrestler, but as a coach, to understand the difference between what you do as an athlete and what you do as a coach, because you're actually teaching the sport more so than just competing. And so that was a big lesson. And then over time, we've learned to to do a little bit better. And so in 2023, we won the county championship, and we made it to the state semifinals. And in the intervening years, we're working to get back there.
Cool,
Gotcha.
cool.
Yeah, people don't understand. Just because you're an athlete in a particular sport, don't mean you know how to coach it.
Right.
And it's a big difference, man. And it takes work. It takes a lot of work. Go ahead, Midnight. Sorry.
No, I was gonna ask, you said that statement. I'm glad Coach even reiterated it. But like, what do you feel was like the turning point? Like, where was that aha moment for you, where you felt like you were teaching it right and you were getting it right?
So over the course of the time I've been there, I've had some great staff members, and I had a coach come alongside me, who had a lot of collegiate experience, and had made the Olympic trials. And so a lot of the things that I wanted to do, he was doing, and he was able to show me how to teach it better.
Mm,
So how to explain it. And so that made a huge difference in everything that we were trying to do. So shout out to Coach Greg, because he was very instrumental, very critical in helping me to develop as a coach.
So as a program for you, like going into a meet, do you have, and I don't know much about college wrestling. Um,
Okay.
do you fill it out so you have like kind of like track where you're competing in each category, or are you trying to put
Yes.
your best in every category?
Yes. So we have 14 weight classes, starting at 106 and ending at 285. And our objective is to have a person in each weight class. And so wrestling is actually pretty much a zero sum game, meaning that there are 84 points available in any dual meet. And then, whoever wins, they get the points for that weight class. And so you can have a shutout of 84 to 0, or you can lose 0 to 84, or any combination in there.
Okay.
Yeah, it's one of the things I never really knew too much about, wrestling, college and high school wrestling, growing up. I always thought it was one of those things, man, I'm not wrestling, man. What is wrestling? My wrestling is watching Hulk Hogan or Triple X.
Yeah.
Triple H, I mean, the Generation X, those are my guys. That's what I thought wrestling was. But as I've been, Coach Marcus, I've been hanging around him and coming to a lot more of the meets, the matches, and starting to understand. Um, I gained a lot of respect for the sport, to be honest, because it takes a lot of skill, it takes a lot of preparation, um, and you could be strong, but that don't mean a darn thing if you don't know how to use your abilities, or to use your skill level. And so it's one thing that I never really understood about coaching wrestling. And I say this to Coach Marcus all the time is, some of these meets you go in, and you might have a school that only got like 6 wrestlers or whatever. Um, and then you got a team that got 10 wrestlers, but just because they ain't in the same weight class, man, look, if you 185, you should be able to wrestle somebody 175. I, I never understood why those matches are forfeited if you don't have people in the same weight class, but I'll never get that. That's just my little rant right there.
Yeah.
So talk about your team this year, man. How they looking? You know, how you shaking up in the county this year, heading into regionals.
Well, currently we're 5-1. We lost our first meet to Suitland, and then we've won, the next five since then. We just finished a tournament over the weekend at Randallstown High School, where we placed just out of the top five. We placed sixth, and we missed fifth place by about 4 points. And so we're looking to develop. We have uh, a few returners who we're expecting to do very well, and then we have some younger guys who are coming along very well. And you know, it's all a growth process. And so, I tell the kids all the time that January counts, but February and March matter. So, we want to make sure that, we're always working and improving to get better. But the things that make the most difference are at the end of the season.
So when you're looking for kids, maybe in the school or trying to fill out your team, what are the attributes you're looking for in a kid?
Um, I like to get guys who have a little fight to them. Obviously this is a combat sport, so we
Right.
want them to have a little fight to them. But we also want kids who have, some dedication. I don't necessarily, what I tell the kids is that your wrestling ability, because I expect that a good number of my kids have never wrestled before.
Right.
And so, it's going to take some patience on their part to learn to get better. Because when my first year wrestling, I did not I did not win any matches, and for um, in my very first meet, I was the first person on my team who lost that night. And so I understand exactly, what that type of frustration can be. So we look for people who have the patience and have the understanding that you're going to get better, but it takes a lot. Wrestling is different from a lot of sports in the sense that losing is way more personal. Because if you're playing football, we lost. Whereas in wrestling, everybody else on your team could have won, and you could be the only person on your team to have lost. And so that's a very personal feeling. And so, and actually, shout out to my mom because my first year I was going to quit because I'd never lost. I mean, I'd never won. And my mother had made an investment in some shoes and so forth. She was like, "Well, you're not going to quit."
Yeah, I paid this
And
money. You're gonna keep on
yeah,
going.
and so 40 years later, here we are.
So is there like I mean, you might have a couple of these stories, but there's a story of a kid that kind of came in, kind of same story as yours, didn't win anything and persevered.
Yeah,
And
I had a. Oh, I'm sorry.
no, you good.
Um,
That's it.
I had a kid a few years ago who he graduated. He's at Morgan State now. But the first year he was a 30 he was there he was out on the mat for 30 seconds at a time, and he was getting pinned. And then by his senior year, he really put in a lot of work in the off seasons. He put in a lot of work during the season, and so his senior year he placed second in the county tournament, and he did not make it to state, but he did. He competed very well, so I was super proud of him.
Cool. Thank you, coach.
Gotcha. So what's some of your wrestlers that have been doing good things? Shout out some of you guys right now, and
Okay,
young ladies if you have any.
so unfortunately this year I don't have any girls, but I do have a few boys who are doing very well. I have Dorian Jordan, who is I think he's currently undefeated, and he just placed first in the tournament last weekend. We had three guys who placed fifth in that tournament. Jody Harper, Sam Ortiz Medina, and Demarion Hackley, and all three of them came in to the program together. And two of them had never wrestled before, so it's great to see them evolving and getting better. And then we have a number of kids who are, they're starting to hit that corner and they're starting to show some promise and they're starting to kind of pay off the dividends of the investment that we've been making.
Gotcha. So what's one thing? Sorry, Midnight.
No,
What's
it's for
what's
you.
one thing? Um, what's one thing that you would that you would say to any kids out here that just don't know about wrestling, and what they're missing out on with wrestling? Because I know as a football coach, I want all my linemen and D linemen to wrestle because it just works on your hands and things like that. But what's one thing that you would share to some of these kids out here that might not know about wrestling?
Well, I like to tell them that it's a great sport. It's going to teach you a lot about yourself because the first opponent, so I always tell my kids, the first opponent that you have to defeat is yourself. And so everybody looks at, everybody else and what you're going to do to this guy and that guy. Um, but you participating in wrestling is going to make you mentally strong. It's going to make you physically strong. You're going to learn like football conditioning and wrestling conditioning are two entirely different spaces. And no, don't disrespect the football, of course, because I love football as well. But when you're out there for 6 minutes at a time and you're constantly going, it's a little bit different than if you're playing 45 seconds at a time with a break.
Right.
And so, I love to tell the kids that, there's nothing better than having the opportunity to prove to yourself who you are and to stand in front of another person and, compete, because that competition is really what makes the difference.
Oh, I got a couple quick comments. Coach J says, RIP 182.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and then Coach Marcus jumps in and says, where do you see PG County wrestling going?
So I think that we are working very hard. The coaches in the county are working very hard to try to advance wrestling in Prince George's County. As Coach Devon alluded to, it's not really a known sport in the county to the degree that it could be. And so we've always had athletes, or as long as I've been here, we've had athletes. And I think if you go back to the 1980s, Prince George's County used to be very prominent in wrestling in the state of Maryland. But currently, we are looking to kind of restore that glory. And so, you know, we're trying to get kids active and involved off in the off season because I think that's the biggest difference between us and some of the other counties, some of the other regions, is that they have a little bit more stable programs throughout the year. And so, if we could have kids a place for kids to practice in the off season and to develop their skills, I think we would really show up very well.
All right. And then there's another statement from Jay says PG County gets the least amount of junior league kids. Can you kind of
Yeah,
speak to that a little bit?
yeah. So, in terms of helping us to develop, that's really where a lot of the challenge lies. So as I mentioned with our program, a lot of the kids that we get are first year wrestlers. So when you get kids who have experience and you're not teaching them the basics of the sport, then it makes a huge difference in the level at which you can compete. And it makes a huge difference in the type of teaching that you are able to do because you're not so busy going back over the very basics of the sport. Now you can develop into the more advanced elements and start talking about strategies and tactics versus how to do every single thing that you're working on. So us developing the junior league system, like a farm system more or less, would make a huge difference. Because the coach before me was a basketball coach. So imagine a football coach or a basketball coach coming in with kids who had never played the sport before. So what you're trying to do is set back a considerable amount.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you make a good point there, because trust me, we still get kids that come to high school and just want to start playing football and don't even know what a 3-point stance is. So I get that. But Coach, man, I appreciate you taking the time, man, for coming out here. Um, I know you're a busy man, but outside of Coach Marcus, I don't know too many wrestling coaches, so it's always good to hear some insight from somebody else in the county, because me and Marcus, we biased to Law High School, so.
Yes, sir. Well, thank you very much for having me.
Yep, I appreciate you coming on, Midnight. You had anything else for him before I let him go?
Nah, thank you for coming on, man. I appreciate it.
Well, thank you. Great. Great to
We
be here.
appreciate it, man, and good luck with counties and regionals and states coming up, individually and as a team. So, except if you go against us, I wish you good
Yes,
luck,
sir.
except in that instance.
All right. All right.
All right, I
All right. Well,
appreciate you, Coach. Have a
all right,
good
thank you.
evening.
You as well.
All
All
right.
right, man. Thank you.
All right. Thank you.
All right, that was Coach Avery Tooley, the head wrestling coach at Wise High School. Appreciate him joining tonight, giving us some insight into some wrestling aspects of the county. So we appreciate him coming on there. All right, Midnight Man, it's almost time for kickoff, so I'm still on my iPad. Do you want to flash the PG County standings for me? Oh, well, we can start there.
Okay.
All right, so in basketball this week, courtesy of the Prince George's County Boys Basketball Coaches Association, our 1A, 2A, 3A player of the week was Abdul Tarawali. I hope I don't mess up his name, from Gwynn Park High School. All right, and I think he, I didn't see the stats from what he did this weekend, but we'll move on to the 4A player of the week. And the 4A player of the week is number 5, Dion Walker from Wise High School. Great kid down there, great player. So congratulations to him for being the PG County Boys Basketball Coaches Association Player of the Week for the 4A. And then our current standings right now in the 4A, Flowers High School continues their hot start. They're still 10-0. Wise behind them at 6-2. Bowie at 6-4. Bladensburg, we spoke with them and Coach John Kamar earlier, is at 6-4. Roosevelt is at 5-4. High Point is 3-3. Lowell, since we won tonight, we're now 4-6. Duval 2-5. Northwestern 1-6. Parkdale's 1-7, and Suitland's 1-8. All right, and go to the 1A, 2A, 3A standings. Gwynn Park is 9-2. Saratsville having a good season. Start to their season at 7-3. Fremont Heights is 6-3. We actually played them down at Showplace Arena a couple of 2 weeks ago. Good team there. CMIT North is 6-3. We played them as well. Largo is 6-4. Potomac is 6-4. Douglas is 5-3. Oxon Hill 5-5. CMIT South 3-5. Crossland 2-7. Friendly High School 1-7. Central 1-8. And College Park Academy is 0-5. So that's your current standings right now for Prince George's County Boys Basketball Coaches Association. So we wanted to flash that. I wanted to get that up there earlier, but we jumped straight in with Coach. So just wanted to put that up there. All right, Midnight, we done reached that point, man. What you got going coming up this week, rest of the week? The hardest working man in podcast land.
The rest of the week, let's see. We got tomorrow night, 6:30, Unapologetic Sports. 7:45, we've got the Tuesday night flight. Wednesday, we have Nothing But Net at 7:30. Then at 8 o'clock, we got the Gentleman Jack. He's got the football coach from Huntington as our guest for this week. Then, of course, Thursday at about 7:15, we jump in with the Thursday Night Throwdown. And then we go into the weekend with a possible episode of The Gridiron and also the WrestleManiacs. And there we go.
All right, like I said, the hardest working man in podcast land. You
I don't
catch
know if
him
I'm
on the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network pretty much every night of the week. Like I said, we got something for you all, man. You know, I'm gonna give a shout out. I wanted to talk about this earlier, but I'm gonna shout out my quarterback, my QB1, Demarius Custis, for being named 4A North All-Region quarterback for the playoffs this year in the state of Maryland. And then shout out my number one receiver, Kareem Oyakin. He was also voted to the 4A North All-Region team for Maryland State playoffs this year. So congratulations to those guys. Both of them are on the basketball team right now. So, you know, they're getting it in on the court as well. But I just wanted to give that shout out to them. And also want to shout out again, I spoke on it earlier, but I want to wish the first ladies of the 300, Spartans cheerleaders, good luck this week as they go down to the PG County Invitational on Friday night. Wise High School at 6 p.m. For their first competition this year. So just want to wish them good luck. As Coach Marcus just put in the chat, you know, 300 strong. You know, we support all our athletes. Basketball wise, we got a home game this week. Thursday, we playing Bowie. We got Bowie High School coming into the 300 on Thursday. Always a good battle. It's our first home game in a while. We've been on the road for a few games, so be good to get back home right now. And Jerome is fine. Don't show no more of his comments when he come up there with that stupid "We Are Bowie" SHIT. So fine, exactly. So that's it. Next week, man, we got another good show coming up. Our special guest, we're going to bring in Coach Damian Powell, former head coach of Flowers High School, has just been named the new head football coach at Riverdale Baptist High School today. Tried to get him on today, but he said he'll be on next week. And we're also going to have on the new head football coach at Bladensburg High School, Coach Stephen Marshall. He's going to join us next week as well, talk about his appointment as the new coach at Bladensburg High School and what he has coming up for that program. So another good show next week, man. And, you know, as we get out of here, I just want to everybody have a good week, stay safe, and get ready to enjoy this playoff game that's coming on right now.
And of course, don't forget tomorrow morning when you get up, if you missed any parts of the show, you can catch the audio version on iTunes, iHeart, Podbean, Podcast, Odyssey, and all those other podcasts. If you can get a podcast there, then you got it. And then also you can just check back in on YouTube and type in the words Pretenders or Contenders and get that last episode there as well. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for watching. All you, Coach.
All right. Like I said, I appreciate all y'all for tuning in again, and we'll see y'all next week.